So, hello everybody. I've sent the link to Mr. Yash Ahuja. He might be joining us in few minutes, I reckon. So, we'll have a discussion about football. We'll discuss about football, normal lives, how is life going for both of us, and how is it entirely moving around. So, we'll have a detailed discussion about it. यश ब्रो आपका कैमरा वो कर लो ऑन कर लो अगर पॉसिबल है तो नहीं तो माइक तो जरूर ऑन करो यार विदाउट opening your mic we won't be able to have a conversation, right? Let's add
Place with decent lighting. Let's keep the
sorry
camera.
sorry sorry I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
I'm not in a place with enough decent lighting
No,
and
no problem, no
ambience.
problem, no problem. If
We'll keep the
actually
camera.
the lighting is not at all a problem. If you want to open your
And
camera,
there is
then it's okay. Otherwise,
something
it's
called
not at all a problem.
self-love. I won't be able to love myself if I see myself in a
Hey, that's
position.
not a case, bro. That's not a case. Start loving yourself. Although I know the fact that you love yourself, but you are not loving yourself because you are right now on my platform. So this might be the reason, right?
No, the thing is, um, the fact is, even in Zoom meetings, I don't turn on my camera. I'm a very shy person like that. You meet me in person, I'll tell you someday.
The moment you mentioned Zoom meeting, you made me relive the era
Nostalgic.
of Zoom meeting of our school, right?
Yeah, nostalgic.
Very
It was good.
nostalgic.
It
Very
was a good
nostalgic.
time.
Yeah, it was
Adversity.
really.
Yeah.
So yes, let's head
Hmm.
our conversation towards football as I know personally that you've been a huge football fan and you've been following football since many years. So let's talk about a football bit. And you've been a Bayern fan this time around. A new signing for you, a huge man named as Harry Kane
Harry Kane.
has arrived for you. So how is it going, Mike, in terms of what you are expecting and what you are getting? Is it satisfactory for you in particular? Hello.
In my opinion, the theme with Bayern is if you are a striker at Bayern, you should be
Yeah.
scoring goals in every game. There's a standard at Bayern that you should finish the season with at least 30 goals and assist contribution. And
Okay.
looking at Kane's performance, I feel like, yeah, he's doing his part. He's doing his part. But the
Mhm.
fact is, the only place we are lacking this season is a defensive midfielder. Someone
Right.
who's true creator at 8. Like someone, what a Declan Rice could have done to us would have been great because we have the best wing players in Europe right now. Coman is good, Sane is good, Gnabry is out of form, but yeah, he makes up for it. He's not a bad player. We have a very good, promising talent in Musiala. Muller is there to, groom him so he'll turn up to be a good player. I know we have a good midfield as well. Goretzka is good, and
Yeah.
Kimmich is good. Even Leimer is good. But we don't have that one person who'll fit in there and do the job. Take the ball from the defense and make sure there is defensive stability because Joshua Kimmich now loves to attack more. I don't know what has happened to him, but I think Tuchel has instructed him in such a way that he needs to be the creator. With Thomas Muller at the end of his career, I think Kimmich is the one doing the creative work with Musiala, so I really think that's the only place we're lacking. And in terms of your question, I would say Harry Kane is doing his part. I think he's overdoing it right now. But yeah, that's the standard advice. If you're 100 million fighting, you should be doing it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
as you mentioned about Harry Kane, you made me remind his Tottenham days. He used to score a lot, but all the Tottenham players except him used to just bottle up the match. You might have remembered all those matches. You might have remembered the match of 2019 Champions League final. At that time, I didn't used to even watch football, and you must have watched that match.
Yeah, I remember that final match. I even remember the semi-final. They were out of the game. They had no chance to come back. They came back on away goals. If I remember, Lucas Moura scored the last goal. Ajax was the team of the tournament. It was
Okay.
heartbreaking to see Ajax lose against Spurs because it was Ajax match. If you would have woke me up at 2 in the night, given me anesthesia, and still asked me who would win against Ajax and Spurs, I would have said Ajax. So Spurs going into the final, I would say they're a good team. It's the same thing that has happened to India this year. So, but Ajax was the team that should have won it. So for me, Spurs getting into the final is just to bottle it again, typical Spurs thing. But it should have been Liverpool versus Ajax. And Spurs, Harry
And Liverpool
Kane,
would have won it, right?
yeah, Liverpool would have won it. Yeah, that was the thing. But
Might have,
Ajax,
rather not would,
yeah,
might have, a
but
grammatical
then it
error.
would have been a 50-50 final. With Spurs
Yeah,
versus Liverpool, it was a one-sided affair because before the game even started. So I won't blame Liverpool for winning it because they deserved it. If you are playing Spurs in a final, you should not be losing.
yeah. So we were discussing about Spurs. So I mean, you might have remembered the preseason transfer, and Harry Kane was one of those. So for me,
Mm.
I had just started watching football, so I have heard about Spurs that Harry Kane is solely the back of
Mhm.
Spurs, and
I,
his transfer
I,
was itself a
yeah,
bit of shocker for Spurs itself. But right now, Spurs are looking more clinical in terms of their midfield, in terms of wing. I mean, what the kind of play which Sean is putting forward is just incredible to watch. And the last match, you must have watched that match, or you might have missed it. But don't worry,
which
if
one
you watch
against
the highlights of
Newcastle?
the match itself, then the
Against
highlights was
Newcastle?
as similar as the match. Yeah, and Newcastle, against Newcastle.
Yeah, I saw the match. I
You
saw the
watched the match?
highlights. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, so
highlights.
highlights was as similar as the match, because
Mm.
only Tottenham was getting, I mean, getting the all the limelight available in the, whatever you want to say,
They
that
deserved
Tottenham
it.
was dominating the
Yeah.
game. Yeah, they were outplaying
Mm.
the opposition completely.
Coming on to that match, one thing I would say, I think when you have a player that big as Harry Kane, no matter how good your team is, you depend on Harry Kane. So
Yeah, right,
Harry Kane leaving Spurs might be a boon for Spurs. Something that they did not ask for, but they should have done it earlier because they have cashed in 100 million on Kane. If they would have waited 2 or 3 more seasons, the Kane's value would not have been the same. A 32-year-old would not fetch 100 million in transfer market, so he would have dropped down to 60, 70 million. Okay, so they've done good business in terms of that. And one thing I would say that Spurs always, they have always suffered because of their defense. That was my take on them because Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, they were good, but they did not had that young blood in their defense. Now I feel that with Christian Romero and one or two more Spurs defenders, the name I'm not clicking, Ben White, yes. So they look more well defensively. And one thing that I would always add is that defense wins you tournaments. So if they have a good, promising defense line, and their midfield is sorted, Spurs can aim for top four, even top two in my contention, and they can win some cup tournaments because in England you get an additional cup in terms of Carabao Cup as well as FA Cup. So I think, and their new manager is looks like quite, he knows his game very well, which
yeah.
was very
Postecoglou,
absent.
Postecoglou.
Yeah, which was very absent with the other two managers that they had after Pochettino. I won't say Mourinho was bad, but Mourinho was not the man for Spurs. You can't expect Pep Guardiola to go to Dortmund and make them the best team. Pep is not meant for Dortmund. Similarly, Mourinho was not meant for Spurs. So he did more damage than repairing that he could have done. That's my take on it. And Harry Kane leaving Spurs is a very good thing as a Bayern fan as well as a Spurs fan as well because you look you look at the bigger picture only when you get distracted from one smaller goals. So they kept looking at Harry Kane. They kept saying Harry Kane will win us trophies. No, the team will win you trophies. And if Harry Kane is the only person that you expect to win you trophies, you need to ship off Harry Kane and work on the team. So I think they've done well with selling Harry Kane. Obviously, as a Bayern fan, I have my motive in it, and it's a done deal, so we can't do anything. We are talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
post, and
yeah,
Spurs are doing. Their manager is too good for Spurs. He's the perfect man for the job. You don't need a high profile manager. You need a good tactical manager for Spurs. Because Spurs is not the club that competes a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Please, please, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Continue. Continue.
Yeah. So, what was I about to mention is, as you talked about Harry Kane's contribution to Spurs, or Harry Kane's contribution to Premier League, that he has been a Premier League legend. Still, he hasn't been able to win a single trophy, being an Premier League player. So that is one of the most disappointing thing for a player like Harry Kane, who has been a legend for England in particular. And as you mentioned about Harry Kane, I was going through that match, that FIFA World Cup match against France, that he actually bottled up the second
Yes,
penalty.
That
He,
that's
uh,
first blood. I can't help them. We should not
yeah, yeah,
mock
yeah.
him,
Now,
but
now
that's
he's
the
in Bayern.
first
Yeah,
blood.
I was about to raise this question. Then now,
Yeah.
as he made in, as he made his, trip to Bayern. Now, would he be able to handle that pressure, and would he be able to make himself a better one in terms of handling pressure, in terms of handling the crowd? I mean, being a captain, you either people would accept or not the fact that a captain really carries the burden of the entire team, and a captain like Harry Kane, who kept on carrying the burden of a team like Tottenham Hotspurs, was carrying the burden of the England's soccer team as well. And now the question is whether he would be able to carry the burden of England soccer team in 26. Although 2026 is very far right now, but yeah, still we need to actually talk about that trait that Harry Kane has. Harry Kane developed that trait to actually carry the momentum, or not the momentum would be no momentum won't be the appropriate word, but the pressure, the burden. Has he made himself completely, I mean, what should I say?
I think
Completely
someone who's
made
very
perfect.
resilient to pressure. I got your point. Someone who can
Yeah,
handle pressure well, who can play well in a big club like Bayern. And till now, it's I think 17 or 16 match days done in Germany. I would say it's a mixed response because when you look at the chance we had at a trophy was DFL Super Cup. But I can't blame Harry for that because it was his first game at the club. He just got transferred 24 hours before the game. So I did not expect him to come up with clutch goals and win us the
I
Super Cup.
reckon all the Bayern fans should shut their mouth for this season itself, because Harry Kane needs some time to settle in the Bayern jersey, right?
But the thing is, you can't aim below the Bundesliga for Bayern, no? Even if there are transfer, even if there are chaos,
Bundesliga is
even if
as
we have
certain as anything for Bayern,
no,
bro.
but
Bayern
this
is
year,
made for Bundesliga. I don't think
but,
that
but,
Dortmund would be able to win it ever until or unless Bayern would
but this
play
year,
in a very destructive manner.
Leverkusen, but this year Leverkusen is a genuine threat to our crown. And as I speak this, Leverkusen are clear on top of the table. And
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think they have a
Bayer
four
Leverkusen.
point lead over
You
us.
mentioned. I'm not generally following the Bundesliga, but yeah, I one team from Bundesliga and another one from La Liga. Girona is right now dominating La
But
Liga, and Bayer Leverkusen is right now dominating Bundesliga, which is
but
absolutely which is a
all
kind of
the yeah.
aberration.
Mhm. Yes, so Leverkusen are 4 points clear, but Bayern have a game in hand. So they'll be 1 point ahead, but they're still ahead. And when you look at the table of Bundesliga, you don't see Bayern lacking or Bayern lagging to any team in that division. So Bayern's meant for that. And as a Bayern fan, I will not accept anything because we are out of the DFB Pokal. Let's be honest. We are out of the DFB Pokal in the second round
Yeah,
itself,
yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
only two competitions we have is the league and the Champions League. And looking at the team, I think we don't have the firepower to win the Champions League this year because no, we don't have a very phenomenal goalkeeper. Neuer is coming back. Peretz is good, and Ulrich is just he has his days. On his days, he's the best goalkeeper. On when the tides turn, he's another Onana. So goalkeeper wise, we are not very sorted. We have a very good centre back pairing, but yeah, I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. We can aim at Champions League this season. I know this is a very early statement, but I only think we're winning the league. And if we don't win the league, then there's some serious problems at Bayern. And Harry Kane needs, even if he, I don't know if he's resilient enough to pressure or not, but if he has joined Bayern and he knows the club, he will have to do everything to win us the league because that's what Lewandowski has done as well. When he came when he came to Bayern, the only trophy he won was one Bundesliga with Dortmund under Klopp. So the pressure was there. You join an intercity rival. You know, when you join, when you move from Manchester United to Manchester City. So similarly, you move from Dortmund to Bayern. There is much more pressure than we think is on Harry Kane. So Lewandowski has faced it and he has proved himself. So similarly, I would say Kane needs to prove that. He needs to shed off that Spurs blood and get some, Bayern mentality on him. He needs to have some lessons with Thomas Muller on how to become a buy-in player. But I think we are being a bit too cryptic about it. But I am sure Harry Kane will end the season. It's my prediction he'll end the season with 35 to 40 goals in the Bundesliga itself. That's my prediction. So I think
Okay, you've given your prediction for your team. Now let's now coming from your team to let's jump on our team. That is Liverpool. Let's talk about
yeah,
Liverpool. They are right now sitting on the top of the table of Premier League. And personally, being a Liverpool fan, I am expecting us to win this season. Although I know the fact, I am really much
he can come
very
back.
much aware of the fact that Pep Guardiola is really laughing in the corner right now with what kind of game he's playing. Kevin De Bruyne is really, and not really would be the really was not supposed to be used by me, but it came out of my mouth. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is still to make his comeback to the team, and some more people. But yeah, if you talk about last year's Manchester City versus this year's Manchester City, there's a very, I would say, a bigger difference, because if you have a look at the midfield of Manchester City this year, your absence of you are absent. Gundogan is
You
not
know,
there. You're missing
yes,
KDB. You are playing Jack Grealish as midfielder, although you can't actually miss the fact that he's a winger, not a full-fledged midfielder. So,
fielder.
do you
Yeah,
think
he's
that
not
Pep is
born for
really
that
getting
role.
complacent with his tactic, or do you think that
But
no, Pep needs that what his players has for offer, or what can his player offer
yes, yes.
for the team? So, how would you have me actually perceive this decision of Pep?
First of all, I would like to talk about Liverpool because
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
been a
yeah, yeah.
very good team this season, and they have been good for 5 to 6 years. It's just they're unlucky enough to be in that era where Man City are invincible. Okay, it's not Liverpool's fault. It's because Man City have superpowers. I will not blame Liverpool. They have been the only season they suffered was when they had initial injuries. I don't remember the season, maybe 2 years ago or maybe one year ago. They had those initial injuries, when they missed out on Van Dijk, Salah, Mane, everyone was injured. So they had a very bad season, but they still managed um, Champions League that season. But yeah, apart from that, all 4 5 seasons, Liverpool has been the second best team in England, only because of Man City. So talking about Liverpool this year, they are much more stable because I think that Robertson and Trent duo is back again. The old 2019-2020 vibes is back because when I started watching football, it was 2019-2020. So Liverpool was a very dominant team back then. And when you play a lot of video games,
They
so
won the
video games
Champions League on that very
they
season
won the
itself.
Champions League. Plus they missed out on one Champions League in the final. They lost against Madrid in 2019, I guess. No,
No, no, no, no.
no,
2021.
they
2021.
20, no, no.
No,
Oh,
2021 was won
2021
by
we lost
Chelsea,
and
and
2018.
2022 was the year when Real Madrid actually edged past Liverpool.
Yeah, so 2018 was the year where they lost the final and 2019 they
This
won
year
it.
was itself a bit of shocker for us because we are not playing Champions League. This is like, how should I describe it? I'm not being able to actually recollect some kind of English phrase, but I don't have any words to describe it, because it was really a bit of shocker for all the Liverpool fans, because we were not expecting ourselves to not present in in the championship like Champions League, because we were not at all expecting this. This would, you can consider it as an aberration completely. Hello, Yash, am I
Liverpool.
audible? Are you there?
I was just looking, I was just waiting for the question. So,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I would say about Liverpool is, they missing out on Champions League was only because last season they were completely out of form, and I cannot blame Pep Klopp for that. He's been a good manager. But the thing is, when you get new blood into the team, you need some time to adjust. That was the only thing that they faced. But the thing is, I remember, when the season started, I had it tweeted somewhere that Liverpool are the team to watch this season because of the fact that the raw talent that they possess this year. That Hungarian midfielder is out of the world. Let's be honest. I've seen him at RB Leipzig,
Sabothlai,
and he has
Sabothlai,
always
Sabothlai.
yeah. Yeah, his name is very difficult. I don't speak Hungarian names. It's very difficult
No,
for
no,
me.
no. It's quite easy. The pronunciation
Yeah.
is quite easy.
It is
Support
easy,
like.
but yeah, yeah. Dominic. I'll call him Dominic. Okay, so Dominic is a good
Yeah,
midfielder. I've
same
seen him at
Dominic, same Dominic.
yeah. So I've seen him at RB Leipzig. He has terrorized Bayern a lot of times, and he's meant for the Premier League. Let's be honest, and he has shown it a couple of times. Also, the fact that Ryan Gravenberch is a good signing. That just shows
Yeah,
how
Ryan
how
Gravenberch is playing for, I mean, playing as the second string team for Liverpool right now. I was really shocked to see that because they are up front playing either Konate or they are bringing up Simicas as their defender, and midfield in particular they have I forgot his name. What was his name? I reckon Cody. Cody was something, has name
no,
something like that.
maybe. No, Cody
Sorry.
Gakpo. Cody
Cody
Gakpo.
Gakpo. Cody Gakpo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Cody Gakpo is their first choice left midfielder. Yeah. So they are playing Gravenberch as their second option, not the first one.
Imagine
Not
a
they have
team
not
has
prioritized Gravenberch.
and I'll just list out the talent that they possess right now. Klopp can really turn this into some good silverware. I believe in Klopp. They are the team to beat in the Europa League. Let's be honest. They deserve Europa League if they play up to their potential. Because of the fact it's not about the first team. It's also about the squad that they have. If you look at the attack, they have Yota. Okay, Diego Yota. He's always there. I don't know what kind of magnet he
Diogo
has in
Jota,
on. Yeah,
Diaz,
he
Salah.
always plays.
It's a dream. It's a dream come true for all of us.
Salah, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Dominic, and one more guy you signed. No, one more winger. I don't
Yeah,
remember
we
his name.
signed. Arey wo naam. I am forgetting that name.
Yes, yes.
I am not really good with the names of European
Same.
footballers because the names are too difficult to learn. You might be aware
I
of the
agree.
fact that
I agree. As an Indian,
yeah,
it is very difficult to pronounce
yeah,
them.
very difficult. If
Yeah,
his name would
and
have
that
been
guy.
Yash or Harsh, I might have been able to remember it. But yeah, you might accept this
Yes,
fact
yes.
that it is too difficult.
And even in the midfield, you have a good option. You've got Endo. Oh, sorry, Darwin Nunes, the
Darwin
striker.
Nunes, yeah, Darwin
Yeah.
Nunes. I
Now
mean,
imagine
uh,
you have a team that can play front three: Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunes, and Mohamed Salah. Then you have
yeah,
a team you
our
can play
defense is
Cody
also looking
Gakpo,
completely sorted. Yeah, our defense is also looking completely sorted. We have Virgil van Dijk,
Mhm. Van
Trent
Dijk, and
Alexander
then
Arnold,
Matip is good, Konate is good, Trent
Konate.
is
Yeah.
good,
Hmm.
and you also had that Greek left back, Costas.
Costa. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I remember Klopp signed him 2 years ago, and I was just discussing it with someone, and the guy said that it's a waste of a signing, and I said, yeah, man, Robertson is slowing down. He'll slow down in a year or two, and then Costas, whatever his name is, he'll be a good backup. So Robertson can groom in, and when Robertson goes off, you have a well developed left back, and that has been the scene. All the matches that saw this year. Costas have been there as a super sub. However, he's always been there in the midfield, in the left back position. So, and plus the fact is, fullbacks are not easily available in the market. Fullbacks are a very rare commodity in the transfer market. So, team investing on fullback is really good when you invest on them young, so that you can cash in. Because Andrew Robertson was unknown to the masses, Trent was unknown to the masses, and somehow Klopp, managed to pull them out of his hat. And today they are, 2019-20, they were the best left back, right back duo in the world, hands down. And Trent is back now. Trent has had his struggles. He was not selected for the England team, I guess. I don't remember the year. How? I don't even remember the reason. He had some conflict or stuff, so he had his
Yeah,
problems.
yeah, he had some conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't remember the conflict. And now he's back. Robertson is full fit. And then you have Joe Gomez, Ibrahim Konate, and Matip is,
Yeah.
an
Matip,
old
yeah.
grade. Van Dyke is good. So a lot of options. So
Being the
Liverpool,
Liverpool, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Continue,
it is
continue.
a, it is a dream. The only thing I would recommend to Liverpool, I know I'm not in a position to speak this, but only thing I would say to Klopp is build a lead over Man City as much as you can before January or February. Because if
Yeah,
you have a good 6 or 8 point lead over Man City,
Man City.
no,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Aston Villa, they will drop points. They will drop point at some point. They're not that big
Is
of a
it?
club.
Do you
Yeah,
think
they
that
will drop.
Arsenal will also drop it?
Yeah, write it somewhere. They will drop
Arsenal is
points.
looking at
Yeah.
Arsenal this time around is looking quite settled kind of team,
No, I know
isn't
they
it?
are a settled team. I know they have just, they came back from just winning, from touching the Premier League trophy last year. They were so
Yeah,
close. But
yeah.
Arsenal as a team is quite young. And Arteta, I know Arteta has been working for 4 to 5, 6 years now. Saka is
Right.
well groomed. They're still young. Can you compare Saka with Salah? Can you
No, we
compare the
can't. We
mentality
can't.
of
No, no, no.
Martin Odegaard with
Salah
someone like
is
Thiago?
what should I say? Any adjective of this world could be well fitted for Salah, but
So
yeah, for
that's my
Saka
point.
you need to think one time. Yeah,
Yeah, Liverpool is a team well established. They have that mentality. They have a good mix of young blood, which in terms of, Endo and Gakpo and Luis Diaz, Nunes, they have a lot of young blood. And they have a mix of good players as well. Like you look at the midfield, you have Thiago there, you have Naby Keita there. Keita is still there, if I'm not wrong. Keita has left the club or he's still there?
I reckon he's
Naby
not
Keita.
there. He has left for
Yeah,
Saudi,
he
I
left
think.
for Saudi, no? Yeah, everyone's going to Saudi. It's tough to remember.
Yeah, Saudi is really giving us nightmares. For the European
Sometimes
football
I look
fans
at
are
the
really
Saudi
giving.
league and I'm like, ये भी चला
Sorry.
गया. So that's the thing. When I
Yeah,
look at the
yeah,
Saudi league,
exactly.
the, the biggest
I was
shock
really
I've had.
shocked to know that this time around there's some kind of possibility that Salah would be moving to Saudi because of his religious beliefs.
Yeah, it can happen. You can't pull a man over his religious beliefs, but still 3, 4 good years left in Europe for me, for Salah.
I reckon, yeah, he and a
But
player named as Neymar. I was really, how should I
the
say?
player named
I
as
was really
Neymar,
disheartened
no,
to see that player
football
like
is
Neymar was
Neymar.
making their move. I reckon Saudi should act as a retirement policy for every player when they are
So
starting
I
to plan
don't
some
think
kind
they
of
are
retirement.
willing to
Then they should
consider
move
this.
to club like Inter Miami or Saudi, right? Like the way Messi and Sergio Busquets have.
My thing is, what I feel like is Saudi is building a project for youngsters. They do not all the other leagues like MLS and even Hero ISL, if you would consider, they were seen as retirement leagues. Yes, when Ronaldo moved there, everybody considered them as retirement league. But Saudi went mad. They were like, how can you say us retirement league? So let us buy the best talents available in your market. We'll lure them away and you'll be like, man, what's happening? So no, even young players are moving to Saudi. I don't know why.
they
Even young
they
players.
took that statement on their ego that how have you pointed a finger on us that we are just admitting
Exactly.
the retired players.
They are
We
hurt.
are here to actually
Now
capture the
I am a
entire
player.
European football market, right?
To be honest, I am very afraid whenever the transfer market opens. I do not want to see a news flashing Thomas Muller moves to Al Hilal. And I'm like,
Right.
man,
Right.
my heart will sing that
Sadio
day.
Mane might have been a bit shocker for
Yeah,
you
he
because
was,
he was really
he,
playing
he,
well for Bayern.
but he should have left
Liverpool
because we
player.
needed to cash in on him. We needed every penny to get Kane in. So
Yeah.
that's fair deal in a
This was
business.
this was one of the debatable topics that
45
for
billion
Kane you
for
sacrifice
Sadio Mane.
everything.
45 million for Sadio Mane. Who says nobody? You
Yeah,
give
right.
you give Bayern 50 million for Thomas Muller.
Right.
I will be happy because Muller is obviously going to go somewhere. 1 or 2 years Muller will be declining. Muller may retire. Nobody has seen that. Okay, but Bayern is getting 50 million. That's the thing. So it also depends of transfers also depend upon the fact that how much they can fetch. Not anyone in the right
This is
mind
not just a
won't pay.
one way
Hmm.
transfer. The
Hmm.
transfer always a two directional method in which
Yes,
the club also, plans their way to bring new players. This has
yes,
been the way for
exactly.
the clubs as
Because
well.
no one in his or her right mind would pay 100 million for Declan Rice. But it's
Right.
only because there are no good
Are
holding midfielders in the
Chelsea,
market.
you talked about 100
And
million.
Seto,
I got remembered Chelsea. Are Caicedo, Mudrik. What was that? Mudrik got 100 million.
They just got transfer banned for 2 years, no? So they
What
are
is
all in blue.
Chelsea doing, man? What is Chelsea doing? First, they sacked a brilliant coach like Thomas Tuchel. Now they are just, throwing the money out of their pocket and bringing every other players. Thinking that any player would make them. First priority for Chelsea right now, I consider is to become the top four teams of the Premier League. But right now, they are not at all focusing on the grassroots level or on the base on which needs to be actually stronger because of the fact that Chelsea are playing just rubbish kind of football.
Chelsea is not even playing football right now. They are playing
Yeah,
a
yeah.
football management game where you buy players for fun and results performance don't matter.
You are
They're
just
playing with their
paying the players
they're
for
playing
their
with
appearances
emotions
for
of their
paying.
fan base.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
they're,
Yeah. Please. Yeah, please.
the thing with
Let me
Chelsea
finish.
is I'm continuing, buddy. The thing with Chelsea is they think they're playing no FIFA career mode on easy difficulty with 1 billion transfer, with 1 billion of funds. Buddy, stop it. Why do you need Modric? Okay, you got Modric. Okay, good. Then you got Sterling. Both of them play on the left wing. Now tell me the logic of buying two left wingers. Okay, leave it. Then they got Caicedo. Then they got Enzo. Man, you are investing on young talent. I get your point. But who pays 100 million for young talents? Is he a Jude Bellingham or is he a Harry Kane that you are paying 100 million for him? No, Caicedo for 100, Enzo, and then they sold Kovacic. Bro, Kovacic has a better value than both of them combined. And then they sold Kovacic to Man City. City uses him in a better way. And then Kovacic will get some silverware. And Chelsea will be stranded for good players. Chelsea is a joke club.
Has
Chelsea
become
is a
a
joke
joke
club.
club. I don't know how they have because you must have remembered that they had won the last, not last exactly, but 2021 Champions League. They had won against Liverpool.
No, they did not beat Liverpool.
No, not
Did they?
Liverpool, not Liverpool. No, no,
I
not
don't
Liverpool.
remember.
I reckon there it was some Premier League club only. I can't remember that club.
It
Actually,
was
when I
Man City.
raised the camera, na, I completely forgot the
It was Man
stats
City.
and the complete concentration key. I
No, no, it was Man City
yeah.
when Kai Havertz scored it. And City was heartbroken.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Exactly.
now look at the team that has defeated Man City
Hmm.
to a team that has even sold Kai Havertz to Arsenal. Bro, stop it. The 2021 team is all sold up and now they have new faces. Bro, what even are you playing? No. Todd Bowley is on weeds. He has some good, material. What I don't know what he smokes, but he whatever he smokes is very powerful.
Yeah, very powerful it is. So yes, thank you for sparing some busy time from your busy schedule. I know you remain super busy. Thank you for sparing some time. I expect that you would be able to spare some time more in the future as well. So thank you for having a great conversation with me. It means the world to me, as I mentioned before as well, and now I am mentioning it again. Please be remain my be please be remain familiar to my channel, to my viewers. I think we had incredible kind of conversation. So should I post it on my channel? Do you allow me
Yeah,
to
sure,
post
sure.
it?
Yeah, it's all good